about Fozzie. That he's unbelievable. That it was all an act. Sorry, beat you to the punch, Michael. But I knew that was a put on. Because you wouldn't be worried about somebody talking about somebody else's woman. No, you wouldn't be. I'm not that stupid, Fazio. And by the way, I'm not done with you yet by a long shot. You pushed the envelope with me just like Barry did. You think I forgot everything you did? You're wrong, bud. Let you live your miserable life in that shack, and there might be little extra bonuses going along with this. But I'm going to tell you something, man. You don't put the wool over my eyes. I knew that was an act from the beginning because you need aloe to back you up. There was no way in the world that it would all the sins that you have committed that you're going to worry about aloe talking about my girlfriend. And speaking of that, my skin is not that thin. I've heard worse. I've heard a lot more. And aloe has never met anybody. And there's been other challenges on here. And aloe has never met any. Now, if aloe wants to meet me that bad, he could just come on my turf. He knows how to find where I live. Should be no question about that. Aloe has never come through to meet anybody historically. Never. And he never will. Because he is the faceless, nameless coward that he is, and he has always been for almost 8 fucking years. That nothing has changed about that. And him thinking that my skin is that thin to go say some insults to my girlfriend, like that's never been done before. No, my skin is not thin, and I'm not being reactive to that whatsoever because I expect that kind of shit to come from lowlifes, and you are a lowlife. Proved it time and time again. And Fazio, yeah, you act pretty ballsy with aloe as your backup. But aloe's not going to protect you in a situation that you can't control. Did he protect you when Ricky came over and slapped you silly like you deserve? Was he there to protect you for that? No, he wasn't. And you want to take legal advice from him? That's a joke. You know that. Douglas Williams says, Popeye, are you drunk yet? Usually he does when he comes on his show. We don't know that he is a drunkard and he's a camel smoker, no filters. And he's not in the greatest shape in the world. No, I didn't get triggered. Do you hear my voice? I'm not triggered. I'm just putting on a show to kind of react to what was spoken about, what Fazio had to say. I'm not triggered, as somebody said on Aloe's show. I'm not triggered at all. You don't hear that in my voice. Am I sound upset? No, not at all. Look, my skin isn't that thin. So it's just talking about my girlfriend like that's never happened before, or people talking about me like that never happened before. It's part of the atmosphere on YouTube. That's all it is. Yeah. The reaction to the slap was like a baby seal getting clubbed. Yeah, I know. It kind of seemed that way, didn't it? Hold on, if you don't mind, let me readjust this computer. If you don't mind. I just kind of was working out and I was listening to part of the show and then I had to shower up and all that shit, so I really didn't listen to the rest of it. But I was right from the beginning, wasn't I? Didn't I say that I don't trust Fazio's situation? Did I or not? I did. Because there was no way that Fazio was going to try to turn on Aloe. He needs Aloe for this so-called moral support from a faceless, nameless coward. And I still do believe that he is Alan Freed. I still do. That hasn't changed. He just tried to do a big cover-up on us, what he tried to do. But it don't matter who he is. He is a loser. I could go on to a long soliloquy over what I think of the asshole. But he's never going to meet anybody. And historically, when he was supposed to, he never showed up. How many people, God, were supposed to meet up with him or he's supposed to meet up with them? He never showed up. And he never will. He doesn't want to be exposed for who he is. That's his mark on here, is not to be known and seen because he doesn't have the capability of facing anybody face to face. That's all. I'm not upset about what he said. Shit. That's gentle compared to some of the things I've heard on here. But you see, most likely Aloe does not have a good relationship with the man he's with. And, maybe they've gone a separate way. I don't know. But Fazio pushes the envelope all the time. That's why he got bitch slapped by Ricky. And he thinks it'll never happen again. I don't think, actually, Ricky's even done with it. From what I talked to one time with Ricky, he said it ain't over yet. Own words, he said it's not over yet. So you think Ricky wants to be taken for money? No, he don't. You think he likes spending 4 days in jail? No, he didn't. You think Ricky's going to stop right there? You know what? I don't think so. I think he's going to take care of business and run to Thailand. That's my thoughts on that. That's my thoughts. And Fazio's a good talker, always was. Kissing Aloe's ass is so embarrassed. It's so embarrassing to the extent that he goes to kiss Aloe's ass. And he sounds terrible and he looks terrible. Why does he just admit that he did not stick to that diet? Unbelievable. I'm just reading a couple things. Yeah, some funny stuff I'm reading actually. But Aloe, the tough guy, historically, he has never met anyone, and he never will anyone. He knows where I live. It's one thing to talk about it on YouTube and come up to my face and say something about me or my girlfriend. That's a whole different scenario. That's a whole galaxy. And Popeye with his usual banter. God, he gets so old. Popeye. Tough guy who rides a little electric scooter and goes to bingo. How many times that people threatened him and he got offline for a long period of time? He ran away. That's what he did. Popeye, again, is kind of like the Fazio syndrome. Popeye, under the auspices of Aloe, will talk the tough talk as well as Popeye. They put Aloe on a pedestal. This is a man that nobody's ever met, and most people don't know his real name. And he hides behind his show like the coward that he is, nameless, faceless coward. But if he wants to deal with me personally, he already got one up on me. You know where I live. Come here, face me, tell me who you are, show me an identification who you are, and do what you feel that you need to do. That's all, because you will never do it. I'm challenging you this time. I'm challenging you, sir. Get off your fucking retarded ass. And why do you keep on bringing up TGIF? I'm the one that got up and approached Barry, trying to change the whole story around. I got up and approached Barry. That's the real story. There you go. Yeah. So to get the record straight, yep, I smell the rat. And Fazio was a rat. And I knew he was bullshitting because Fazio would not come on and say anything bad about Aloe. He knows that's the worst thing he can do. He needs Aloe as his ally. I said it on my show. No, they didn't set me up because I seen right through it. And you guys already know that because I already said it on my show. I said, I'm not buying any of this. So sorry, Fazio. Didn't work. Everything you do don't work. Your dick doesn't work. Nothing works on you. Apparently. Your brain doesn't work. Nothing works. You don't even work. You accomplished nothing on that lease problem. We're still waiting for that hotel. Where's the hotel? I don't see a hotel. 8 years now? Damn. Michael, tell you what, you're going to get what's coming to you. I guarantee it. It's not a threat. It's a promise. You're going to get what's coming to you one way or the other. I guarantee you it. While you're still alive on this earth, and I don't think that's going to be very long because you're a very ill, sick man, mentally and physically, as per demonstration. Remember, that's going to be a disclaimer on here. As per demonstration. We look at you, you see the sickliness in your face, you see your obesity, your face is starting to sag like a son of a bitch. And wow, the metamorphosis you're going through is incredible the past 2 years. How long do you think you're going to last? So you're going to lose 100 pounds and do what? What are you going to do? You can't do shit, and you know it. You would never face me man to man. You too. You would never face me man to man because you know you'd get the shit kicked out of you if that ever happened. And I've got plenty of reason and ammunition why that would be a reality. Trust me on that.
What a shit motherfucker. I have no fucking idea. He was picking on some other monger in the Philippines. And I guess, he got a little afraid, I mean, how could a 400-pound man be afraid?
How? Well, you don't have the agility to move. You can't be fast. And your heart is being pressed on every angle from all the weight. Of course, a 400-pound man could be afraid to fight somebody else because they couldn't last very long. Give them 30 seconds, that's an extreme. For any kind of energy, for any kind of fighting that they could get into one-to-one with anybody, you're carrying a 400-pound frame around a 5'3" body. I just somehow don't think that's going to help. I don't think so. This is some poor shit from Popeye.
With a quadruple X fucking shirt. I mean, motherfucker is going to put Bottom Bailey out of fucking God.
Well, why don't you give us current photographs of you, Popeye, Robert Clausen? Or why don't you give current photos of you and show us what you look like with those big floppy ears of yours? And that gray hair and the khaki pants and the black shoes with the white socks up to your knees. Why don't you do that? He seems to be hypercritical of everyone. Let me see, get a 200-pound, a fat man on the ground is like flipping A turtle upside down. It can have that effect because it's hard to write yourself up, I would imagine. And it takes a lot of energy to do that. Yeah. These guys all talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. I expected to hear exactly what Aloe said on his show today. Aloe, you're not hurting my feelings by saying bad things about me. You're not hurting my feelings about saying things bad about my girlfriend. It's old hat. My skin is not that thin. Okay, you're not hurting me and you're not triggering me. Do I sound mad? I'm not mad. I hear this stuff all the time. Okay, and people talk about my house. What about my house? It's a nice house. They only wish they had my house. It's a lot of envy going on here. A lot of envy. Most of these creeps on here and losers will never own a house. Maybe never had a house. And they say, well, it's Gilda's house. You're right. It was bought with the intent of Gilda having it the rest of her life. I get to live rent free. It's still technically my house on the tax documents. My name is on it. And I have a 25-year lease. So it's my house no matter how you look at it. And if something happened between us, she'd have to work something out with me because there's a 25-year lease. I could throw her out if it ever came down to that. I don't think that's ever going to come down to that. But I'm smarter than you think I am. I set up things to protect myself too. So as far as questioning is whose house it is, it's irrelevant. It's my house. I bought it. My name's on the tax declaration. I can't own the land, but I do have some say, especially with a 25-year lease. So end that topic. Okay, let's see. Get a 200. Okay, got that already. Okay. All right. So basically, I beat Fazio to the punch. And he hates that. He really hates that. I mean, look what he's living in. Could he say something about me? Come on. I'm 300 times in better shape than Fazio will ever be, both physically, mentally, as far as how I'm living, what I own. He can never reach that goal. Ever. Ever. And it pisses himself. He's pissed off about that. That he has to live in a termite-infected shack. I mean, how bad is that? How could he afford to talk about me? He said, I had nothing to do with your tenants. I did call the police once. Oh, he had a lot to do with it. Like I told you there, dude, I'm not done with you yet. I'm far from being done with you, motherfucker. Let me tell you that. I'm far from being done with you. You ain't seen nothing yet. And I'll tell you what, as far as Ricky, I don't think it's over between you and Ricky, to tell you the truth. And when I talked to him that time, he's got big plans for you. I'm not surprised if anybody else does. Your mouth, you run it too much and you get yourself in trouble. And that was Barry's problem. Need I have to remind you where Barry is right now? He ran his mouth too. Find some real friends, Michael. Not fucking idiots and losers on YouTube that you can't trust. What you don't know is that Aloe is laughing at you. You got the supposed partnership. Aloe is laughing at you as much as Ricky is laughing at Bomber's situation. You just don't see it, though. Yeah, Fazio hasn't enjoyed the small of a fresh pack of new socks in decades. Yeah, well, I showed my new socks, didn't I? Yeah. So I did listen to part of the show. I had to go use the treadmill and had to take a shower and so forth. So I didn't get to hear all of it. But I heard enough. No, I'm not listening to it right now. I heard Aloe's speech and I heard Fazio's speech. So nothing more really to speak of, really, except that Fazio is, I think, pushing the envelope. And Aloe, well, fuck. Who cares what Aloe says? Everybody's used to Aloe attacking people. So it's just another day when it comes to Aloe. Whether he talks about me, my girlfriend, or whatever. My skin is not that thin. I've heard worse on here before, so I mean, not a big deal. So Aloe, you're not getting my goat, sorry. And you're such a big tough guy. Why isn't it that you haven't met anybody yet that challenged you on here? You never did, even all the way down to Barry's level. You never met anybody on here, and you will never meet anybody. If anything, you might stand in the shadows somewhere to see if somebody showed up, but you would never present yourself to nobody. Fazio has enjoyed a fresh pack of new seed. The dude hasn't enjoyed anything, if you know what I'm talking about. Loneliness is a bitch, man. That's why he's so big mouth, tough man behind the fucking wall. Wait till I lose 100 pounds. But if you lost 100 pounds on a diet you're supposedly on, you won't be alive to do another show. And again, nobody, and I mean nobody out there believes that you actually went 17, 18 days without eating. Nobody, and I mean nobody believes that. Anyway, Al is just a big joke, and everybody kissing his ass, of course, Papa. God, what a loser that guy is. That's all he could talk about is his Navy years. I mean, did anything ever happen between the time of his Navy and up until now that was some kind of positive experience? I mean, what has he been doing with his life? He never had another woman again since the woman that he beat the shit out of left him for another man, and she's living a very good life, I heard. Nobody wants him, and for good reason. The guy is living in the fucking 18th century or something. He's very ancient, outdated. He's dusty, like something in an old mansion. The sheets have been covering the couches for a long time. Take the sheets off and dust them off. That's what he's like. He's like a dusty old dinosaur is what he is. Dusty old dinosaur. Well, the way I see it is that Fazio will continue kissing Aloe's ass as long as he feels there's some benefit in him. See the way he gets rid of people that stop being members on his charity, on his show when they were paying to be members, and he's just, attacked them like crazy. How dare you not keep your membership going on here? So what is he surviving on? That's a good question. What is he surviving? Probably not much. Probably not much at all. Anyway, I'm not going to be on here too long. I got things to do. No, I don't even want to finish Aloe's show. I heard what I needed to hear on there. And Aloe, I know you listen to the show. Let me just say something directly to you. Dude, I've never been intimidated by you, and I never have, and I never will be. As I said, you're a nameless, faceless coward. That's what cowards do. If you were that tough of a guy, you would get your ass on camera. Get your ass on camera and show us who you are. How big and bad you think you are. And you're always talking about age. Age don't mean shit necessarily, dude. It don't mean shit. You don't go by age. You don't go by age what somebody can accomplish or not. Oh, there's some people that might matter because, people like Michael and Kevin and people like that are so obese that they can't afford to get into a little scuffle with anybody. Yeah. But yeah, I said from the beginning that was coming out of Fazio's mouth in that show when he was angry. Beat you to the punch there, Michael. I knew you were full of shit, and I said it. No, you didn't get my goat. You didn't bait me because it didn't work. Because I already knew you were full of shit. With all the shit you've done, all of a sudden you're going to have a good conscience? Oh, yeah, right. You're going to defend somebody talking about somebody's girlfriend? Hell no. And I said that. I knew from the beginning that it was a bait setup for me to react to it. And I did react to it. But what did I say? For the record, what I said was, it's bullshit. And I do not believe him. So it didn't work. Sorry to Michael. Sometimes you think you're ahead of the game, but you're quite behind. What a life you live, dude, man. Yeah. No, I'm not triggered by anything that Aloe said. I'm not triggered by anything that Fat Man says. This is an expectation, not a surprise. It's a big difference. I knew Michael was bullshitting from when he opened his mouth. Like he bullshits on every goddamn show he puts on there. It's all right. He'll get his day. I'm sure of that. He'll get his day. He'll regret everything he's ever fucking said. Ask Barry about that. Did not happen to him. Some of the stuff I listened to was actually very funny. I would like to just turned it on. Just turned it on. How many sock accounts are on that channel right now? How many? Man, I'm telling you, the sock accounts are adding up on Aloe's show. New names are showing up all the time. Ain't that something? Anyway, that's what I have to say. No, we're not triggered. No, my skin is not that thin. Aloe can say whatever he wants, and he usually does. I'm happy with who I have. We have no problems in our relationship. I know what I have. I'm happy with what I have. So how are you going to change that? By saying, fuck you, Gilda, or something? Oh, that's really, really going to change the dynamics of my relationship. Not. With that being said, that's what I have to say about all this. Triggered? No. Laughing at all this? Yes. Expecting this? Of course, man. Fuck it, of course.